for the comparative study of Muslim societies and cultures. And as I understand it, this is his last sponsored lecture, and I'm honored to participate. I'd also like to thank Ellen Vaillancourt, whose organizational skills were very much appreciated. Likewise, Rose Bake from World Literature, and Tracy Anbinder. And I think that's all. Before we get started, let me introduce our speaker for this evening. We're often asked, what good is literature in the modern world? And I don't think a better answer can be given than to look at the career of our distinguished speaker this evening, Angelika Neuwirth. Rather than to cite, however, a dizzying catalog of books, articles, and collaborative publications, I'll mention 3 areas in which it's fair to say Angelika has fundamentally contributed to changing the way we think. The first area has to do with the Qur'an. Angelika is a creative thinker. Her publications on the Qur'an have been hailed as a key to understanding this crucial text in world literature, in its historical and literary contexts. In her work, Angelika sees connections where others see walls. As a result, the Qur'an and Islam become thinkable and relatable as a part of human history and culture, and not, as popularly thought sometimes, a strange doctrine. A second contribution. Let's put ourselves back in 1975. The Modern Language Association hardly mentions Arabic literature in its massive bibliography. Indeed, modern Arabic literature occupies a small and dusty little corner of Orientalist studies. It's considered wholly derivative of Western models. Few claim that it's relevant to the world we live in. Indeed, it's hard to imagine there was a time, at least in North America, when to say something like Palestinian culture was a controversial statement. Angelika was among the few who changed all that. She employed her erudition to bring light on the great modern Arabic literature that we now all enjoy, teach every day, and find it completely normal. A third great contribution, Angelika is much more than the sum of her voluminous writings. She is a visionary who believes in people. Again, let us put ourselves in the past. Lebanon, 1994. Angelika arrives as director of the Orient Institute of Beirut. The nation is still reeling from its recently ended 15-year civil war. It's a pariah nation, a synonym for chaos and the disintegration of civil society. In the bookshops, titles languish on the shelves since the early 1970s, as indicated by the yellowed bindings and Peter Max style cover graphics. University curricula are likewise frozen in pre-war times. The German Orient Institute, on the other hand, is an island of world-class scholarship. As director of such an academic powerhouse, Angelika could have easily ensconced herself in its glory and pretended that the misery of contemporary Lebanon was a political problem having nothing to do with the fine and august literary studies. She could have been queen of the kingdom of timeless scholarship on timeless classical literature. Instead, without neglecting the traditional world-renowned German scholarship in Oriental literatures, Angelika had the courage to identify the needs of contemporary cultural life in Lebanon, and she responded to it with focus and incredible energy. She opened the Orient Institute to contemporary Arab writers and intellectuals, and brought her prestige to bear in valorizing them. At the same time, she was able to bring great thinkers and writers to Beirut at a time when citizens of most nations were prohibited or strongly discouraged by their governments from traveling there. One visiting scholar remarked, "I learned from Angelika to love the country with its men and women of letters and its books. She always puts her personality and her intellectual soul, so to